But here we go. This is Mercury and Venus in Sagittarius. This is the truth coming out. This is the truth. And what are we talking about? We're talking about sports, right? And what does Sagittarius rule? Sagittarius rules sports. So here we go. This is truth in action. Now Joe Paterno has said he's going to retire now at the end of the season. I think he should step down immediately. Immediately. This man does not get to have his last 3 or 4 games and moments of glory and a respectable send-off. He failed miserably when he knew that Sandusky was having sex with kids. He failed. It's a black mark, black mark. But here we go again. Mercury, Venus, doing their thing. Silvio Berlusconi, king of scandal. He's in hot water too. He's offering to step down. So here we see this interesting, very tight conjunction, really, blasting things to the surface right now in terms of truth and revelation. Speaking of truth and revelation, if you go to my website, or if you haven't gone to my website, I urge you to go. I just did a post on Barack Obama being the son of Malcolm X. I think actually out of everything I've read, this has the absolute most legs than anything I've read. And so I went in to find out, to see if you could actually determine, based on the synastry of the 2 charts, if there was indeed a connection. And based on what I saw with the amount of oppositions that were taking place between the 2 charts, yes, indeed, there is a connection. And one could, as an astrologer, could build a case for Obama being Malcolm X's son. There is other evidence that is beginning to surface now. One of the things that's just come up was a court case in Hawaii, and there was an accident in Hawaii involving one Barry Shabazz. This is utterly amazing. It was an accident. I believe it was in the 80s. Barry Shabazz, and there was a warrant, and there was all kinds of stuff. It was apparently an injury accident. So here now we have an official document from the state of Hawaii with the name Barry Shabazz on it. What are the odds? What are the odds of that there would actually be a Barry Shabazz in Hawaii? Same spelling. I think the odds are pretty steep in some ways. I also ran across a video of Malcolm X's funeral, and there's a guy there talking to somebody, and it was on a piece of news clip, and just to the left of this guy, there's a young Caucasian woman, and I bet pretty much what I have in my bank account, which isn't a lot, I bet that woman is our friend, Stanley Armour Dunham, also known as Barack Obama's mother. Very, very close resemblance. Anyway, I think this is interesting. And, when is it coming out? It is coming out in the month of Scorpio, where we're digging around and we're rooting around and we're trying to find, and sometimes not even that difficult. Things are seeping through the cracks. They are seeping through the cracks. So, whether it's interesting, this swing through Scorpio to Sagittarius, because here, if you look at it psychologically, right, Scorpio is all about the subconscious. It's when these things get generated and then they rise to the surface. And Sagittarius is like Gabriel's horn. And I was like, now announcing scandal, Penn State, that's what it's about. That's Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is the manifesting principle, the expression of the concentration of mental focus and psychic focus in the subconscious in order to discern and come to some sort of realization of the truth. So here in Scorpio, in the month of Scorpio, with these planets in Sagittarius, these revelations are coming to the surface. And if you look at, again, the chart of Malcolm X, who is a Taurus, by the way, a late Taurus, Scorpio is the opposite side of his sun, right? It's the, what would you call that? It's the opposite. It's an opposition. So it's an interesting time for sure. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens with this whole Malcolm X, Barack Obama thing. I think it's going to be really interesting. The other big piece now that we have to think about is the reports from the IAEA, and it's about Iran, and it is not good. At least it's not good in the sense of the rating. I don't believe that Iran is building nuclear weapons to bomb the world. I don't believe that. Because what would that accomplish? What would that serve? Well, wipe them out in a heartbeat. I mean, the whole idea, if you go back and you look at game theory, game theory was created by John Nash. And John Nash, you'll know as the guy that Russell Crowe played in A Beautiful Mind. John Nash came up with game theory. And the whole idea behind game theory is based on poker. Each person at the poker table is trying to advance their own self-interest within the context of not knowing how other people are trying to advance their self-interest as well. So a lot of poker is based on this whole concept of bluff. And because there's an unknown factor, somebody's hand may cancel out another person's hand because you don't know what I'm holding. I may be holding two queens, pocket kings. Or I may be holding 3 and a 6. But you don't know that. And it's kind of like this is what John Nash figured out with the Cold War. You didn't know what another country had, theoretically. I mean, now it's a different game because of the amount of surveillance and the sophistication of eyes in the sky and espionage. You can get a sense as to what people have, but still, not always sure. So based on that, not knowing, it kind of cancels out everybody's decision to act because they didn't know what they were up against. So why take a risk? Why take a risk and go all in if you were only holding a 3 and a 6 and you could get flattened, right? That's what game theory is about. So if you take that to its ultimate conclusion, Iran is playing game theory with everybody else in the world. Why would they try to bomb somebody? Why would they try to, fire a missile at someone? Well, they wouldn't, because they know that there's a chance that somebody's holding pocket kings, pocket aces, and they'll get flattened too. So what's really going on? Well, what's really going on is there's a call to war. This is what's happening. We are really close to World War III, really close. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say it doesn't happen. Because I'll tell you why. Because the United States Army, the generals in the Army, they do not want to go to war. They don't. Not in Iran. Nope. The country wants to go to war in Iran is Israel. And they do not want to go. They won't go there. Okay? Because Iran is a big, big nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's a big country, sophisticated weapons, and it is really the fuse for World War III. So here's my prediction. My prediction is that somebody's going to come out in the next few days and is going to kind of blow the lid off of this Iran thing. Either that or, okay, it's going to be one of two things. Either that or something significant will happen, which I'm leaning towards the other. It depends on how, how itchy Israel gets over the next 48 hours. I think the window really is like 11/11, 11/12. I really do. And if it doesn't happen during that window, I think that there's a very good chance that there is going to be some very interesting revelations around this. There can't not be. The one thing about Mercury and Venus, also in Sagittarius, the Sagittarius is zealous. It is a zealous sign. So, one of the things that I've been guilty of in my life with Jupiter and Sagittarius is that I've been zealous at times when I've had a point of view, whether it's a conspiracy, whether it's truth, whether it's enlightenment or God. If I tapped into it, man, I tell you, I was insufferable for a long time. That's Sagittarius. I've got Jupiter and Sag in the first house. So that's what Sagittarius is. So there's a zealous quality to that energy. So we're going to see it get played out. I'm going to go on record, especially as we get closer to 11/11, because then Mercury and Venus will be conjunct the true node in Sagittarius, and I think we'll see some very interesting information come out. All right, there are people waiting in the queue to have a reading. Thank you for being patient. This person with the 901 area code's been waiting for a long time. Let's find out who they are and where we're going to steer our StarCraft today. Hello?
Shuffle your arm and leg.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Nice and cool and perfect. It's interesting that you mentioned the thing about Obama and Malcolm X. I read something about that, too, and they showed pictures, and they also showed how much Malcolm X looks like the older daughter now. I'm not saying what.
I've seen that video.
You've seen it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she is just like Malcolm X.
It's amazing, that guy who put that together, he was pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. And he said, you see how it skips a generation.
Yeah.
And
he laid it out, and then, I don't know what's what, and I'm not going to say, but I know that girl looks just like Malcolm X.
Well, what's also interesting is he took the other daughter, and he lined the other daughter up with one of Malcolm X's daughters, right?
Okay, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so he lined her up with Malcolm. So Obama's other daughter actually looked more like Malcolm X's biological daughter. Very fascinating.
Wow, it is fascinating.
Yeah.
But I'm listening and learning.
Okay, cool. I'm going to put you back on hold then.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.